Former employees of Mercury Marine described confusion after hundreds of layoffs at the company's Fond du Lac headquarters. I'm your Fond du Lac neighborhood reporter, Margaret Cahill, and I spoke to an employee about his experience.
The former employee I met worked as a forklift driver at Mercury Marine for more than a year and a half before being laid off. He asked us not to identify him out of concern for his current job. He says he was laid off in April, when we previously reported Mercury laid off more than 100 employees.
It was a big stress on me and my family.
Last week, Mercury announced another 300 layoffs from now through July. The former employee says it affected several of his former coworkers and friends.
They're kind of worried about, is there going to be another round after this?
He says many current employees are anxious about their job security.
From talking to them, kind of seems like morale has gone down as far as working at Mercury.
In a statement last week, Mercury Marine said it remains one of the largest employers in the Fox Valley, and the layoffs follow, quote, softening of consumer demand as a result of high interest rates and near-term reductions in boat production. But employees I spoke with say they're confused. This man telling me Mercury Marine held a quarterly meeting with employees the day after he was told he'd be laid off.
And what did they say?
They just talked about how well everything's selling in certain areas and what they're planning to do in the future and how they're bringing some of the processes back to Mercury and not outsourcing them anymore. So it just seemed like a shot in the gut, like, oh, you're bringing processes in, but you're laying people off. Like, how does that necessarily work?
I reached out to Mercury Marine again after speaking with this employee, but they said they're not sharing anything more at this time. I also spoke with a representative from the union that represents Mercury Marine's workers, but he declined to comment on the layoffs.
We'll continue to follow this story and bring you any updates on air and on NBC26.com. In Fond du Lac, I'm Margaret Cahill, NBC26.